So find yourself a comfortable seat to start off with. And then make any little movements that you need to make to allow yourself to come into stillness. And then either lower the gaze or let the eyes gently close down. And to start off with, take a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you release the breath out through the mouth, allow the shoulders to settle away from the ears and feel a little bit of space in between the teeth at the back of the mouth so that you can soften the jaw. And then start to tune into the breath. So not changing the breath, just starting to notice and see if you can really fixate your attention on the feeling sense of the breath as it moves in and out of your body. And the invitation is to start to notice the breath down in the belly. So allowing the belly to relax on the inhale. And with the exhale, a subtle drawing in of the low belly. And then moving to the ribs. And again, allowing a feeling of expansion in the sides of the ribs with the inhale. And an exhale, drawing the low belly in. And starting to deepen your breath here. Tuning into the feeling sense of the breath, the feeling sense in the body. Maybe starting to notice how it is that you're feeling this evening, physically, energetically, emotionally. And knowing that all of that is welcome, however it is that you find yourself. So starting to breathe a little bit deeper, and I'd like you to count the breath. So taking an inhale for a count of 5 or 6. And then exhaling for a count of 5 or 6. And continuing to tune in with that feeling of the expansion of the sides of the ribs on the inhale. And then the drawing in of the low belly on the exhale. And taking a few more breaths like that, counting the 5 on the inhale, the 6 on the inhale, the 5 on the exhale, the 6 on the exhale. Really starting to settle into the space that you find yourself in. Coming into this sense of noticing, of awareness. And an attitude of curiosity rather than trying to change how it is that you find yourself or how it is that you feel. Just noticing the sensations, the breath. And then just 1 minute of contemplation before we start moving. I'd like you to bring into your awareness something that you've done this week that you're proud of. And it can be really difficult some of us are having really challenging times, and I guess the idea is, can we draw our attention to something that we feel really good about and really proud of in ourselves? and start to cultivate that attitude of appreciation and gratitude and pride in what we are doing. So maybe just taking a moment to bring something into your awareness that feels meaningful for you. And the invitation is to take that into your practice, noticing the parts of the poses and the breath that you can do, the things that you already are doing. Good. And then gently opening the eyes, and we'll start in a knee pile. So with the right leg on top, so either the knees stack directly over each other like this, or you can straighten out the bottom leg if that's not accessible for you. And then so the right leg is on top. Bring the right hand down in line with the right hip and release the head and the neck over towards the right hand side. Take an inhale all of the way up into the left side of your neck. And then exhale, hover the left fingertips a few inches up off the mat. Release the head over towards the right hand side. And again, take a few deep breaths, breathing all of the way up into the left collarbone. And then exhale, draw the left shoulder blade in towards the spine and relax your forehead. Good, and then gently bring yourself back up to center. Use your right hand to support the head and draw the head up. And then just take a twist over towards the right hand side. So maybe bringing the fingertips down towards the ground or just the back of the left forearm to the outside of the right knee. And starting to draw yourself a little bit into your twist. Inhaling, sending the breath into the sides of the ribs. And then exhaling, softening the shoulders and drawing the low belly in. Good, and then come back to center and switch over the legs. So either the left leg is on top and the right leg is out straight, or you can bend both of the knees and have the knees stacked on top of each other. Then bring the left hand out in line with the left hip. Release the head and the neck over towards the left hand side and hover the right fingertips up off the mat. Take an inhale all of the way up into the right side of the neck. And then exhale, draw the right shoulder blade in towards the spine and soften the forehead. Create space again between your back teeth. Come back up to center, use the left hand to support the head, and then take your twist over towards the left side, bringing the back of the right arm onto the left thigh. Taking an inhale into the sides of the ribs, and then exhale, draw the belly in, and start to move from the center of your chest over towards the left hand side. Good, and then come back to center and bring the soles of the feet together, so you're in Baddha Konasana. If you feel like you're leaning really far back, then just make more of a diamond shape with your legs, so you're able to sit nice and tall on your sitting bones. And then bring your right arm up, so the elbow is in line with the shoulder, and bring the left hand to the inside of the right bicep. Take an inhale all of the way up into the right side of the upper back. And then exhale, draw the right shoulder down, send the elbow forward and squeeze the right arm into your left hand. to stabilize your shoulder. Inhale, breathe into the right side of the upper back. And then exhale, send the right shoulder down, the elbow forward, and squeezing that right arm in towards the left hand, resisting the hand with the arm. One more on that side. Good, and then switching over to the other side, bringing the left arm up, the right hand comes to the inside of the left bicep. Take an inhale up into the left side of the upper back. And then exhale, draw the left shoulder down, send the elbow forward and squeeze the left elbow in towards the midline, resisting it with your right hand. 2 more like that. Inhale into the left side of the upper back. And exhale, send the shoulder down, the elbow forward, squeeze it in towards the midline. 1 more like that. Good. And then draw the knees together and bring the feet down and sit with the hands on the backs of the hamstrings and the chest lifting up. The shoulder blades are drawing back and down. And roll really far forward on your sitting bones and get a sense of the low belly starting to draw in. Option to stay here or to come up onto your tiptoes, or maybe you hover your shins off the mat in line with the ground. Option to stay here or to reach your fingertips forwards. And start to take some breaths, breathing really deeply into the sides of the ribs. Keeping the shoulders drawing back and down. And if you notice that you're rounding in your low back, see if you can come forwards on your sitting bones, lifting the chest up. And then hug the knees in and roll all the way down onto your back for some abs. And take some, before we do any abs, take your hands onto your knees and take some circles with your knees around your hip joint. Get a sense of the sacrum, the lowest part of the back, grounding down into the mat. And then bring your knees up over your hips and cross the right leg over the left leg like we're doing eagle legs. So either the right just crosses over the left, or you can hook that right foot underneath the left calf. Clasp the hands behind the back of the head and send the elbows up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale all of the way down into the low back. And then exhale, push the low back down and lift the head and the shoulders up off the mat. Take another inhale down into the low belly. Hold the breath, push the low back down, curl the tailbone, squeeze the thighs together, and exhale, lift the elbows up towards the knees and pull the low belly down. Inhale, come half the way down. Hold the breath, push the low back down, curl the tailbone, squeeze the thighs. Exhale, lift the elbows, spread the toes and pull your low belly down. Inhale, come back down. Hold the breath, push the low back down, curl the tailbone, squeeze the thighs. Exhale, lift the elbows and send the knees 2 inches forwards. Pull the low belly down. Inhale, come back to center, switch over the legs. So this time the left leg is on top. And then exhale, lift your head and shoulders up off the mat. See if you can get your shoulder blades up. Pull the belly down. Take another inhale here. Hold the breath, push the low back down, curl the tailbone, squeeze the thighs, and exhale, lift the elbows towards the knees, pull the belly down. Inhale, come halfway down, hold the breath, push the low back down, curl the tailbone, squeeze the thighs. Exhale, lift the shoulder blades up off the mat, pull the low belly down. And last one of these, inhale, come half the way down, hold the breath, push the low back down, curl the tailbone, squeeze the thighs. Exhale, lift the elbows and send the knees 2 inches forwards towards the front of the mat. Pull the low belly down. Inhale, bring the head down and bring the hands back onto the knees and take some more circles with your knees around your hip joints. Breathe really deeply while you're doing that. And then we'll take frog, lifting through. So bring your knees back up over your hips and then let the knees drop wide. So you're in like a frog pose on your back. The hands are clasped behind the head and the elbows are sending up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale all the way down into the low belly. And then exhale, curl the pubic bone in towards the belly button. Reach out through your knees. Pull the belly down. Inhale, relax the pelvis down. Exhale, reach out through the knees, curl the pubic bone in towards the belly button, pull the belly down. Inhale all the way down into the low part of the belly. Exhale, curl the pubic bone in, reach out through the knees, pull the belly down. One more like this, inhale. And exhale, curl the pubic bone, lift the shoulders up off the mat, pull the low belly down. Inhale, release the head. Bring the hands either side of the thighs, draw the thighs together, and then bring your feet down onto the mat, setting up for bridge. Take an inhale to spread the sides of the ribs, and exhale, push through the feet as you lift the hips up off the mat. And get a sense here of totally relaxing the back of the head and the back of the neck. Spreading the toes and pushing down, especially in the inner arches of your feet. And then using your breath to create more space in between your ribs and your hips. Relaxing, creating space in those muscles that you've just worked with the abdominal exercises. Taking one more inhale at the top. And then exhale, curl the upper, then the middle, then the lower part of the back, all of the way down. And hug the knees in towards the chest. And start to move yourself side to side on your back, breathing deeply into the parts of your back that are in contact with the mat. And then moving forwards and backwards along the length of the spine. Eventually coming up into a seated position. And then coming forward onto your knees. And option to just sit on your heels, or you can tuck your toes under, so you're stretching out the bottom of the feet as well. And we'll just take a few breaths here for bird wing. So bring your elbows in alongside of your waist, and draw the shoulder blades back and down, the palms face up. Take an inhale into the sides of the ribs. And then exhale, draw the shoulders down and send the thumbs wide, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Inhale to the sides of the ribs, bring the fingertips back to center. Exhale, draw the shoulders down, squeeze the shoulder blades together, engaging the muscles on the back. Inhale, draw the fingertips back to center. And exhale, draw the shoulder blades down, squeezing the shoulder blades together. One more like that. Inhale back to center. And then exhale, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then coming forwards into a tabletop position. The hands are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. And then bring your knees back a little bit so they're behind your hips. And bring your forearms down where your hands were. So you're in like a forearm half version of a plank. And then draw the shoulder blades back and down and squeeze the shoulder blades together. So option to stay here or to tuck your toes under and lift up into a full version of a forearm plank. Taking deep breaths into the sides of the ribs. And then from here, pushing through the forearms, starting to walk the feet into a dolphin, lifting the hips up into the air, pushing through the whole length of your forearms, all the way down to your wrists. And breathing deeply into that space in between the shoulder blades, sending the hips up and back. Taking up to 3 more breaths here. And then meeting back into a forearm plank. And everybody dropping your hips down and taking a Sphinx pose. So reaching out through the feet and bringing the tops of the feet down onto the mat. The elbows stay under the shoulders. And we start to draw our chest forwards between the arms. Again, getting a sense of drawing those elbows back towards the hips to open the spaces in between the vertebrae of the upper back. And breathing into the sides and the back of the ribs here. And then bringing yourself all of the way down to the mat and pushing back up into a downward facing dog. And just taking a couple of breaths here in through the nose and out through the mouth. Releasing through the back of the head and the back of the neck. And then taking an inhale in your downward facing dog. And exhale, drawing yourself forwards into a plank position. Taking an inhale here. And exhale, hover the knees off the mat. Inhale, lift your hips back up. And exhale, back up into downward facing dog. One more like that. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, coming forwards into a plank position. Taking an inhale in your plank. Exhale, hover the knees off the mat. Inhale, reaching the heels back into plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. And then starting to walk your feet forwards to the top of the mat. And coming into a standing forward fold at the front of the mat. Releasing through the back of the head and the back of the neck. Maybe bringing the thumbs into opposite elbows. And getting a sense of being steady in the lower body, in the legs. But totally releasing through the upper body. And taking any movements here through the shoulders, the neck, the head. Taking any sounds that need to come out or any breaths that need to come out through the mouth. And then releasing the arms, drawing the low belly in and slowly rolling yourself up into a standing position. And taking a few rolls of your shoulders when you get up to the top. And then bringing the hands back over the heart. Feeling the ground underneath your feet and just letting the eyes close or the gaze soften. And taking a moment to tune back into that feeling of pride or appreciation or gratitude for yourself. Feeling that with your breath in your heart. And then releasing the arms, taking sun salutations. Inhale to reach the arms up into the air. Exhale, fold forwards, draw the low belly in. Inhale, bring the hands to the shins, half lift. Exhale, step into a plank position. Taking one breath in here. In your plank, you can always have the knees down. And then exhale, drawing the shoulder blades back and down, sending the heart forwards as you come down onto your belly. Taking one inhale in a cobra pose, drawing the heart forwards and up. And then exhale, drawing the heart forwards and down, pushing back up into a downward facing dog. And getting a sense, maybe bending your knees and then spreading your fingers and see if you can create a really long line all of the way from your fingertips, all the way up to the sitting bones. And then wrapping the shoulders in towards the midline. So the back of the body is really long, but it's engaged and strong. Lifting those sitting bones up. Taking an inhale to bend the knees and look forward. Exhale, step or jump, top of the mat. Standing forward fold. Inhale, reaching the arms all of the way up. And then exhale, draw the hands back to heart center. One more like that. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forwards, draw the belly in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to step or jump back, lowering yourself down towards the ground. Inhale, draw the heart forwards and up into a cobra. And then exhale, push back into a downward facing dog. Feeling the breath into the space in between the shoulder blades. And then inhale, bend the knees, look forwards. Exhale, step or jump, top of the mat, standing forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, draw the hands back to heart center. Again, spreading through the toes and taking a breath to feel down into your feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forwards, draw the belly in. Inhale, half lift. This time, exhale, step the left foot back and bring the left knee down. Maybe padding that left knee. Inhale, reach the arms up into your low lunge. And exhale, push down through the inner arch of your right foot. Curl your pubic bone towards your belly button. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, wrap your right elbow underneath your left elbow for eagle arms. Maybe the backs of the forearms come together. Maybe you can wrap the hands all the way around. Take an inhale into the space in between the shoulder blades. And then exhale, draw the shoulders down, send the elbows forwards. Really push into the ball of your front foot. And then release the arms, bring the left hand down, tuck the left toes under and reach the right arm up into the air. Drawing the left shoulder away from the left ear and reaching out through the heel of your left foot. And then we're going to come into a variation of side plank or full side plank. Roll onto the outer edge of the left foot and start to walk the right foot back, to halfway to the back of the mat. And either you can stay here, pushing through that left hand, drawing the left shoulder away from the ear, or you can stack the feet on top of each other, coming into a full version of side plank. Lifting the hips up and keeping the breath really full. And then release the right hand down. Take an inhale here. Option to drop your knees as you exhale, lowering yourself down. Inhale, draw the heart forwards and up into your back bend. And exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Take one inhale here. And then exhale, step your left foot forwards. Bring your right knee down. Again, maybe padding the right knee. Inhale, reaching the arms up into the air. And exhale, rooting down through the inner arch of your left foot. And then curl the pubic bone in towards the belly button. Taking another breath here, really feeling that length all of the way up into the fingertips. And then wrapping the left elbow underneath the right elbow for eagle arms. Taking an inhale into the space in between the shoulder blades. And then exhale, draw the shoulders back down, send the elbows forwards. And soften through the muscles in your face, your jaw and your forehead. Good. And then release the right hand down for a twist. Tuck the right toes under, reach away through the right heel, and then reach the left arm up into the air. Breathing deeply into the sides of the ribs, drawing that right shoulder away from the right ear. And then coming into your version of side plank, rolling onto the outside edge of the right foot, maybe stepping the left foot half of the way back, or all of the way back to stack the feet on top of each other. Drawing the right shoulder away from the right ear and lifting the hips up into the air. And then releasing the left hand down, coming into a plank position. Option to come straight into downward facing dog or through a vinyasa. And then everybody bringing the knees down and taking a few breaths in a cat-cow, using an inhale to open the chest. And an exhale to round the spine, drawing the low belly in. And take a few breaths here to feel into what it is that your body needs. So maybe that's a traditional cat-cow, moving forwards and backwards, or taking any other movement that feels intuitive around the shoulders and the hips. Good, and then meeting back up into a downward facing dog. Taking an inhale and lifting the right leg up into the air. And then exhale, hug the right knee in towards the nose, bring the shoulders forwards over the wrists. Inhale, reach the right leg all of the way back up. This time, step the right foot forwards in between the hands, stay on the toes of the back foot, and come up into a high lunge. So a nice bend in the front knee. And then reach the hands out behind you, so you're opening across the front of the chest, but not clasping the hands together, just get a feel of the kind of opening across the front of the chest, drawing the hands out behind you. Option to take an inhale and hover the back knee. And then exhale, reach through that back heel, engaging your left glute. Inhale, hover the left knee. And exhale, reach through the left heel. Keep drawing the shoulders back and down. Inhale, hover the left knee. And exhale, reach away through that left heel. And then we're going to come into warrior 3. So either stepping the foot up or floating up. And the arms can be alongside of your body, or they can be out behind you, or they can be out in front of you. See if you can spread the toes of your left foot. And root down through the inner arch as well as the outer arch of your right foot. Allowing the breath to be deep into the sides of your ribs. And then step the left foot back. Back into your high lunge. Option to drop the left knee down, or you can keep the left knee up. And then bring the right elbow underneath the left elbow for eagle arms again. Take an inhale into the space in between the shoulder blades. And then exhale, draw the shoulder blades back and down. Send the elbows forwards. Option to bring your forehead to rest onto your arms. So we can soften through the back of the neck, but stay really strong and active through the legs. Getting a sense of drawing the inner thighs together. And then releasing the arms, coming into a twist. Bringing the right hand to the base of the right thigh. Inhale, reach the left arm up. And exhale, hook the left elbow over the right thigh. The back knee can be down. Either a fist in the left hand with the right hand on top, or the palms can come together. And taking some breaths here, breathing into the sides of the ribs. Reaching away through the left heel. And then releasing the arms down either side of your front foot and stepping back into a plank pose and lowering all the way down onto the belly. Bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders for a sphinx. Reaching away through the right foot and then the left foot, bringing the tops of the feet onto the mat. And then drawing the shoulders back and down and pushing down through the pubic bone. And if the low back is sensitive, tuck the tailbone, draw the low belly in. So the stretch can come into the upper part of the back. And start to breathe deeply here into the sides of the ribs. Really feeling any areas of tightness or holding, and again, not attempting to change them, just inviting the breath to be in that space. Option to stay here for another 3 breaths, or to push into the tops of the feet, draw the chin in towards the chest, and lift up into a forearm plank variation on the tops of the feet, drawing the low belly in. And then everybody meeting back in a Sphinx pose. Taking one more inhale. And then exhale, releasing yourself all the way down onto the mat. Bringing one side of your face onto the mat. And taking some breaths down into the low back, into the low belly. Maybe taking a breath or 2 out through your mouth here. Good. And then pushing back up into a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up into the air. And exhale, hug the left knee in towards the nose. Bring the shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, reach through the left leg, lifting the left leg up. Exhale, step the left foot forwards and come up into your high lunge again. An option to just bring the arms out as if you're opening the chest, holding on to like a beach ball, or you can clasp the hands together But just check that your shoulders don't roll forward. So if clasping your hands together means that you're rounding your upper back, and just stay opening the chest and bringing the arms wide. Take an inhale and hover the back knee. And exhale, reach out through the back heel, straightening the back leg. Again, inhale, hover the back knee. And exhale, straighten the back leg. One more like that. Inhale, hover the back knee. And exhale, straighten the back leg. Good, and then coming into warrior three. So stepping or floating your back leg up. Bringing your upper body and your right leg parallel with the mat. And the hands can remain clasped behind the back. Or you can bring them out in front of you or anywhere that feels helpful. And take some breaths here, breathing into the sides of your ribs. Good, and then release your back foot back. And option, probably preferable, release your back knee down. And then lift your left arm up into the air and bend your left elbow, and then bring your right hand onto your left elbow and start to draw your heart up. Take an inhale all of the way up into the collarbones. And exhale, lift up through your upper back, lift your left elbow up towards the ceiling. Option to stay here or to bring your right arm underneath, keeping the front of the right shoulder open. Maybe you can clasp the hands together, or maybe you're just holding on to items of clothing. Take a breath to breathe all the way up into the collarbones. And then exhale, lift that left elbow up. Draw the right shoulder back and down. And then switching over to the other side, because I forgot this the first time. Inhale, reach the right arm up. And exhale, bend the right elbow. Send the right elbow up towards the ceiling. The elbow's going up, but the shoulder remains engaged. The shoulder blade is drawing back and down. And then option to stay here, or to bring the left hand underneath, bringing the hands towards each other, down your back. Taking an inhale all of the way up into the collarbones. And then exhale, lifting from your heart, pushing through the sole of the front foot and the top of the back foot. Then releasing the arms, bringing the left hand to the left thigh. Inhale, reach the right arm up. And exhale, come into a twist. Hook your right elbow over your left thigh. Either your palms come together or a fist in the right hand with the left hand on top. And take some breaths here to feel into the back of the ribs, the sides of the ribs. Good. And then release the hands down either side of your front foot and step the back foot forwards to meet the front foot. And then roll yourself up into a standing position. Take some rolls of your shoulders when you get to the top. And then transfer your weight into your right foot. We'll come into eagle and put a bend in your right knee and then hook your left leg over your right leg. Maybe you can wrap the foot all the way around. And then the left arm comes under, the right arm comes over. Taking some inhales into that space in between the shoulder blades. And then exhale, send the elbows forwards, squeeze the elbows together. Option to start to bring your elbows down towards your knees, drawing the low belly in. And then slowly rolling yourself back up, releasing, and then switching over the legs. Transferring your weight into your left foot, putting a bend in the left knee, and crossing the right leg over the top. And then bringing your right arm under, left arm over. Again, breathing into the space in between the shoulder blades. An option to draw the belly in, starting to fold the elbows down towards the knees. Good, and then rolling yourself slowly back up. Releasing the arms, releasing the legs, shaking everything out a little bit. And then keeping your right foot at the front of the mat and stepping the left foot back and coming into warrior two. So checking the right knee is tracking over the second or third toe and spreading through the outer edge of your back foot. And then clasp the hands behind the low back, or if that doesn't feel comfortable, just keep the arms open. Take an inhale and open across the front of the chest. And then exhale, start to fold forwards, either directly in between your feet or coming a little bit more towards the front foot, whatever feels better for your hip. And then release through the back of the head, the back of the neck. And breathe deeply all the way down into the low back and into your right hip. Drawing the right hip in towards the midline and spreading through the toes of the back foot with the exhale. Rolling yourself slowly back up. Then bringing the left hand onto the left thigh, bringing the right arm out, and reversing the warrior, bringing the right arm up over the head. And see here if you can take your breath all of the way down to the right hip. And as you exhale, send that right knee forwards and draw the right arm back. Good. And then come back to center. We'll come into goddess. So bringing your heels in and your toes out. And bringing the hands together in front of the chest. Pushing especially through the outer edges of your feet. Then take an inhale and reach the arms up into the air. And exhale, cactus the arms and open the chest. Inhale, bring the arms forwards and up. This time with a lion's breath. 2 more like that. Inhale, bring the arms forwards and up. 1 more. Inhale. Good. And then straighten the legs. Come straight into warrior two on the second side. And again, clasp the hands behind the low back. Take an inhale to open across the front of the chest. And then exhale to fold forwards to the inside of that left leg or straight in between your legs, whatever feels more helpful for opening your left hip. And breathing all the way down into the low back. And exhale, softening through the back of the head and the back of the neck. And then drawing yourself back up for reverse warrior, bringing the right hand onto the right thigh, and taking an inhale and reaching the left arm all of the way up and over. Exhale, push down through that left foot and create more space all the way down the left side of the body. Again, inhale to create space. And exhale to send that left shin forwards, the left fingertips come back. Good, and then slowly come back up. And start to walk your feet in, so kind of heel toe the feet in. And then bring your feet so they're hips width distance apart with the toes pointing out and the heels pointing in. Take an inhale and reach the arms all the way up. And then exhale, bring the hands in towards the chest and sink down a little bit. Inhale, push through the heels, reach the arms up. Exhale, sink down. One more inhale, push through the heels, reach the arms up. And exhale, this time coming all the way down, so being really careful if your knees don't feel happy. Just gradually making your way there. And then coming up onto your tiptoes, if that allows your chest to be tall and the low back to be long. Bringing the elbows to the insides of the thighs. And maybe lowering the gaze or closing the eyes. And just taking a few breaths deep down into the low belly and the pelvis. Softening through the forehead and the jaw. Good, and then from there, slowly sitting yourself down and bringing your feet back into like a diamond position. So the soles of the feet are together, but you don't have to have them all the way in towards the hips. So I want you to be able to sit up. And if it helps to have something underneath you, so a block underneath you to keep you forwards on your sitting bones, then go ahead and do that. Bring the left hand down in line with the left hip. Release the head and the neck over towards the left. Take an inhale and reach the right arm up into the air for a side bend. And then exhale, soften the whole upper body over towards the left. And soften the right hip down towards the mat. Good, and then gently come back up. Switching over to the other side, bringing the right hand down. Taking an inhale to reach the left arm up into the air. And exhale, soften that left hip. Create space in between the back of the teeth to soften the jaw. And then drawing yourself slowly back up. We'll take a forward fold. So either bringing the hands onto the ankles and sending the upper body forwards, or if you'd like to come deeper, you can thread the arms underneath the shins and relax the back of the head and the back of the neck. And use a few deep breaths here to breathe down into the low back. See if you can create some space with your breath in the low back. And exhale and allow some softness into the sensations that you feel. Just meeting the sensations that you feel with softness as much as you can. And then rolling yourself back up to center and drawing the thighs together and then sending the legs out straight in front of you. And you might want to keep a bend in your knees if that helps your spine be nice and long. Take an inhale and reach the arms up into the air. And then exhale, sending the heart forwards, bringing the hands down to the mat wherever they reach. And then relaxing through the back of the head and the back of the neck. Breathing deeply again into that space in between the shoulder blades, creating space at the back of the heart. And then slowly rolling yourself back up. And shuffling forwards on your mat, so the feet just come just across the edge of the mat. Reaching the arms out at shoulder height and plugging the shoulders into the sockets. And then drawing the low belly in and curling ourselves down onto the mat. So bringing the low back down first, then the middle part of the back, and then the upper back. And hugging the knees in towards the chest, and either just taking a few breaths here to create some circles with your knees around your hips, or taking a few breaths in a happy baby pose. The hands can be on the backs of the thighs or on the calves or the feet. See if you can get a sense of the breath reaching all of the way down into the sacrum, the lowest part of the back. Keeping the shoulders soft and the jaw soft. Good. And then hugging the knees in towards the chest, keeping the right knee in and extending the left leg out just straight on the mat. And then taking a twist, bringing the left hand onto the right thigh and drawing the right thigh over, maybe shuffling the left hip underneath so your body's in one long line. Bringing the right arm out, wherever feels comfortable alongside of your body. And taking some deep breaths down into the belly, just like we did at the start of the class. As you exhale, letting the right shoulder soften down into the ground. And then drawing yourself back to center and switching over the legs. So extending the right leg, hugging the left knee in. Taking an inhale all of the way down to the front of that right hip. And then exhale, coming into your twist on the other side, drawing the left thigh over, allowing the left shoulder to settle down into the ground. Again, breathing deeply down into the low part of the back, the low part of the belly. With the exhale, allowing some softness. And then drawing yourself back to center. And either bringing the feet wide on your mat, letting the knees drop in towards the middle, or bringing the soles of the feet together and letting the knees drop wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. Option to bring one hand over the low belly and one hand over the heart. And taking some breaths, some soft breaths now down into the low belly. Just being conscious of the fullness of the breath down in that space below your belly button. And then bringing some breath into the space around your heart, the front, the sides, the back of the heart. Maybe inviting back in that awareness of whatever it is that you are appreciative or proud or grateful for in yourself. Inviting that into the heart space. And then taking a couple of breaths to connect the belly and the heart. Breathing deeply all the way down and filling the belly and the heart at the same time with the inhale. And gently moving from here into Shavasana. So taking any other movements that you'd like to make, or a blanket or some socks or anything else that'll make it a little bit more comfortable for you to rest. When you're on the ground resting, you can rest in any position that feels comfortable for you. If you're lying on your back, then let the feet come wide so they come just outside the edges of the corners of the mat, but let the hips have some space. And then tuck the tailbone under to lengthen the low back. And shuffle the shoulders away from the ears to lengthen the back of the neck. And then consciously bring your attention to the back of your head and allow the back of your head to really settle into the ground. Allow the shoulders and the upper back to settle into the ground. The back of the pelvis, the back of the legs. And taking these moments to give yourself permission to release and soften, let go of anything that you're holding on to that isn't serving you, or anything that you're holding on to that it feels better to let go of. Allowing yourself these moments to just rest. And starting to deepen your breath. Making some little movements with your fingers and your toes. Maybe taking a stretch, reaching the arms all the way up over the head. And then hugging the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a squeeze, rolling over to whichever side feels comfortable for you. And just pausing there, resting on your side, and feel the weight of the body release down into the ground. And then gently push yourself back up into a seated position. And bring the hands together in front of your heart space, lengthen the back of the neck and lower your gaze. And take some deep breaths all the way into the sides of the ribs, expanding the sides of the heart with the breath. Connecting with that appreciation and gratitude that you have for your amazing body in everything that it offers you in your life. We'll close the practice with the sound of one Om together. If it feels okay to Om in your space. Taking a deep breath in. Om. Thank you all for sharing your practice this evening. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely week. Any questions, or if anyone wants to say hello, then please feel free to stick around. Otherwise, look after yourself and hopefully see some of you soon.
Thank you. That was great. Thank you so much.
Really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.